Hi there, folks. Welcome to another episode of Michael in the Backyard. You have been seeing it in the background. You have been making comments about it. It's now time to reveal the latest member to the family. I've had it for about 3 weeks. And I'll tell you what it is, why it is, and some of the things we need to do to it, and how I'm going to use it. So, let's start off by saying it's raining. Let me get the umbrella so I can stand in front of it and show you some things. Clickety-dick, clickety-click. All right. So what we have here is a 1980 International dump truck. It is a beautiful specimen of an older truck. You guys might be asking yourself, Michael, why a dump truck? Well, it ain't new and it's priced right. So I scooped it up. And what convinced me to do that? My wife and I, the boss, and I had a conversation about what we're doing to the yard and what we're doing out here in the lean-tos and just things in general, right? Well, I had 30 ton of rock, 30 and a half, 31 ton maybe, something like that, of rock delivered to my house. And what you see in the current lean-to that you've been seeing me waller around on out here working on Big Mo is representative of most of that 30 ton of rock. It's about that thick in here. I wanted a good thick bed and I had to build it back up because I had to get the horse manure out of here that had been here for 12 years and plus beyond that. This guy, the guy I bought the house from, he had been gone 10 years, but his wife lived here, and then they sold the property. I was a fortunate person to get the property, and they housed some horses in here. So all that was on the floor might have been straw at one time, it was a lot of horse poop. But scooped all that out on the first 3 stalls, backfilled it in with this 3/4 define unwashed road gravel, which packs in really nice and makes a nice flat surface. And a little dusty. I almost want to come out here and actually just hose it down and wash the surface down and just lock it in, but I don't want to do that yet because I haven't, let's just call it, really done a good job of leveling it out in here. But I told my wife, I said, hey, you know, gravel's not that expensive. The hauling fees way surpass the expense of the gravel. I said, as much rock as I want to bring in here to do this backyard area, the driveway, and then just that alone, I think, I told her, I said, just in hauling fees that I'd have to pay alone, I'm pretty sure I could pay that money and have it all done, or I could buy this and for the same amount of money haul my gravel, and then I'll have a truck when it's all done. And then I could sell the truck if I had to, or wanted to, or needed to. It's gonna be hard to get rid of a toy once you have it, I'll tell you that. My wife actually made the comment about when I got Big Mo here, the tractor. She goes, you know, when you get all done with it, we can just sell it. I'm like, it hurt my ears, hurt my heart. It's like, it's hard to get rid of toys, you know? You get your toys and you want to hang on to them. And whenever possible, I can use these toys to help other people, friends and family and other people do their projects eventually. So I'm using my own backyard as an excavation playground and getting some experience on what, where, and how. So when somebody says, hey, I want to do this, I'm like, I know exactly what I need to do to make that happen. So, that being said, I went to Nauvoo, Illinois. It's about 90 miles from where I live. And this guy had this thing for sale. I liked the blue. It was like, it looked too good to be true, right? And then, so now you know the why, because I got to haul a lot of rock. And then you see here that it's got a diamond plate. I mean, look at this, diamond plate aluminum. Ooh, that sounded loud. And I mean, that's heavy square aluminum tubing, all riveted and bolted. Where they riveted, they use aluminum rivets. Where they bolted, they use stainless bolts. they got these big swinging doors that swing all the way around and open up the entire back side. I apologize for the lighting. It's not spectacular, but at least there's one right over the truck. What we have here is, I think these are at least 4.5 feet tall, maybe taller. Well, it's the width of a sheet, it looks like, plus some. So the cool part about this is it's got some bracing on the top that I can take down. So he's got some anti-spreading braces going across from side to side. So you can dump in and then dump out, support the weight on the sidewalls. The floor is actually rubber. This is a tongue and groove board that looks to be about an inch or so thick. And he said they called it grubber. If you guys have heard of this before, let me know. Leave a comment below. But the grubber is kind of nice because when you drop stuff in it, it can absorb the shock and it won't be as noisy. And it also dumps and cleans up really well. I've actually power washed this out now a week or so ago. I haven't spent a lot of time with the unnamed truck. Now, I've had people come up, leave some comments about some names, and so that's one thing, that's where we're going to start here, is asking you, you know, we got Big Mo over here. What do we call its brother? Now, I thought Big Mo was heavy, 11,400 pounds. This is about a ton heavier. It's about 13,400 to 500 pounds. So it's not light. It's got some aluminum wheels up front, real aluminum wheels up front. It's got regular wheels in the back that we probably should paint and make it look a little better sometime in the future. Man, I hope this rain really isn't screwing up my audio, but you know, if it does, it does. And I hope you can hear me just fine. But these tires, I mean, they're regular. They're regular. They hit me at my belt line. I'm 6'1" and it hits me in my belt. But, so the guy I bought it from was the third owner. I'm the fourth owner. One guy in the history, he told me, had owned it for 30 years himself. It started its life as a city, county type truck. And since then, it's been worked over multiple times over its life. Different thing, as you can see, to be in the shape it's in, it had to be, you know, people did stuff to it, took care of it. It has about a 53-gallon fuel tank, from what I can tell. Will pop up in the interior, and it's been painted. This cab's a 1979 cab. It's been repainted. I don't know if you can see the run there, but nice thing about runs, they don't cost you any extra to get runs in your paint. They actually happen for free. The cab of it is just your standard old international truck cab. Crack in the windshield, standard. Bullet hole looking crack over there from a rock hitting it, standard. Air ride seat, standard. Let me step up in here. Check out this radio. This is an old, look at the size of this thing. An old Motorola radio. Got a model, trans type, serial number. Man, that thing's gigantic. That's like 18 inches tall there, and it has a speaker here. Got some knobs here. Got a mic that's under the seat that's no longer connected to its mic cord. Air seat works. Got a lever here. What's that for? Dump. Transmissions and automatic. Now, this is the answer you guys are all looking for, right? What's it got under the hood, Michael? Well, I'm going to promptly tell you. Let's just pitch this up. Not supposed to do it this way, but it works okay. Let's just see if we can turn it like this. There we go. Gonna let it rain inside a little bit. Not gonna hurt a thing. Now you guys correct me if I'm wrong on any of this stuff, because I'm new to trucks. Just as new as I am to backhoe, I'm newer to diesel trucks. This is a Detroit, it's an international S-Series truck. No idea what because this is a different cab. But it has a Detroit, I believe it's Detroit, DT 466 6-cylinder diesel engine in it. All mechanical. No electronics, just like Big Mo. If you get one of them electronic magnetic pulse bombs go off, guess what will still start? These two items, they'll still start. They don't require electricity to run. Once they're started, which you can start with a jump pack, I'm gonna have to put my umbrella on here to go around the other side. Put on my umbrella. Do you actually put on an umbrella or you just use it? Gotta go in the rain to get around to the other side here. There you go, thank you for your patience. So here's the other side. So that's a heck of a fuel pump there. It's all mechanical fuel pump. Air compressor for the air brakes. It's got air brakes all the way around. Big old power steering stuff. Look at the size of them leaf springs on the front. Those things are gigantic. Look at that pitman arm coming off the steering. That weighs more than an entire Jeep. It is dangerous to walk on this side because I got steel laying everywhere and I need to clean up. But yeah, here's a shot of the other side. Just to give you a look-see here. Let's open up this door. Nothing special. Big giant truck steering wheel. We got truck brakes, truck seat, truck fire extinguisher, truck floorboard, truck box, truck cab. Just all kinds of truck stuff. You drive this thing, you're punching the man card hard for the day. That's awesome. Now, I'm going to show you something else that's really cool. Key on. It's ready to fire. Now you hear a lot of rattling. A little vibration sound. That's because when this is tilted like that. Oh, can't pull it back. There, a little quieter. Starts and runs like that every time. The guy I bought it from says it'll start just about that easy in the winter. He says every time you just hit the button and she fires, she fires, she fires. Can't say enough about that DT466. Now I normally like to let things warm up, but for me being able to talk and breathe, I'm gonna shut her down. So the transmission is a 4-speed automatic. It's got 1, 2, 3, and drive. My understanding is when this was original, factory built, first owned, this top speed of this machine, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, he thought was about 45 to 50 miles an hour, and that's it. Because these were designed to just be, you know, really strong workhorses, not race cars. So, let me get around back to the other side where I can actually walk more comfortably. So the owner previous to the guy I bought it from that had it for probably the longest amount of time wanted it to go down the highway just a little bit more comfortably than it did. So this rear end, and you can see some of the yellow paint here through the black. That's a big giant rear end in here, just gigantic. Everything's just, I'm impressed of how heavy and big everything is. Well, it had, he put a school bus rear end under this thing. And that had different gear ratio in it. So now I was able to run 60 and 65 coming home with this thing. And you really don't want to go any faster than that. Your RPMs, I'm running about 1900 RPMs, closing on 2000. And it seemed to handle it okay. No idea what kind of mileage these things get. If you guys know what kind of mileage these things get, how many gallons per minute it consumes, let me know. But she's a beaut. And I want to show you today because I'm inside. Oh, that looks cool. Let's get a shot of that. Look at that. smoking. But it's been rebuilt or built, and it's overkill, which I love the most, right? It's got two dual lift cylinders, and those lift cylinders are that big around, and they're 2-stage, and there's 2 of them. And so he says pretty much whatever you put in here, it will dump. The other thing I have here, just to give you guys an idea. Oh. I left some of the scale tickets in here. Owner coppery. Hey, International Series, S Series. Some other Illinois temporary permit stuff. That's interesting. What was this year from? 2022. So the guy I bought it from, I think, had it from 22. No, purchase date 12/23 of 21. So he had it for 3 years. It's kind of neat to have some of that stuff. We got that. Some scale tickets. Gray Quarries Incorporated in Hamilton, Illinois. And this was just as of 3/30 of last year. What was the gross weight? So this kind of gives you an idea of some of the rock costs just a year ago. And that's about late last year's when I bought my gravel. And gravel's gravel. This was the, I think actually, you call it CM9 Road Rock. $81. $81 for 12.95 tons. So it's $81. So that gives you an idea what it costs for. So that's 12 tons. I had 30 tons. So 3 times that would be $240. $240 for the road rock, and then I paid $703 for 30 tons. So let's just call that. Well, that'd be more than that, but that's at least $500 or $400 worth of hauling fees. So every time I bring 3 truckloads home, I save $400. And the other cool part is the quarry where the rock's at I'm going to get is only 7.7 miles from my house. Just straight south, straight back. Pretty cool. So yeah, that was $81. So he hauled, now the GVRW on this thing is 29,900 pounds. Just shy under 30,000 pounds. So I do have to get my Class B CDL licensed to legally drive this on the road. What was this load? 12.76 tons. And this one was 12.7 tons. And these were these back to back to back? So, yep. So 330. He hauled 3 loads that day. Looks like at 11:22 a.m., 12:25 p.m., and a 1:52 p.m. So, and he goes, it has no problem dumping. He goes, you put whatever you want in this truck, it will dump it. What's in this envelope? Haven't opened this yet. So it'd be cool if it was an envelope full of cash. Ugh. Kind of stuck. Oh, registration. The thing doesn't have a glove box, which is auto insurance. I've already got this insured. So, anyway, that's the paperwork. Now, the console in here that it does not have, where the radio is. So, we look at this space in here. There's a lot of space between the seats. So, and there's not a drink holder inside. You do have an ability to pull this doghouse off to get to the back cylinders if for some reason you needed to. But overall, and that's one of the toys I want there too now, bulldozer. But overall, really solid truck. Trying to get a windshield for it, so I don't want to be, get pulled over because I have a cracked windshield or anything. So I've got one place that was 5 hours away from me that had one, and then I called them a week too late. I said, I'm going to pull the trigger on getting that windshield. And they were already packing it up to sell it. It was a $400 windshield. Now, my understanding is on these old Internationals that the windshield fits from 1978, I think he said, or 77, all the way to like 2003. Same flat windshield on all of them, which is cool. My wife was like, well, you should be able to get a windshield. They should have one of those. Everybody should have one of those. I said, this hasn't been made. You think about 2003, doesn't seem that long ago, but that's over 20 years ago now. I said, there's nobody required to make windshields for this truck, period. But there should be enough of them in junkyards. The thing is, in junkyards, they don't typically, the glass isn't one of the things they normally sell. But I gave the guy, I called him, he says, yeah, we're packing it up now. I'm like, oh, I'm a week too late or a day too late. He goes, yeah. He says they're charging us $600 just to pack it up to ship. Now that drive was gonna be 5 hours for me. I told him I'm willing to drive and get it. I'm not worried about the shipping. I'll come get it. You don't have to risk that, because he says, yeah, we ship it, we pack it, we ship it. $400 windshield, $600 worth of packaging, and still no guarantee that it'll arrive not broken. So finally, about 4 days later, sent me a text, hey, got a windshield in Council Bluffs, Iowa. I'm like, oh, awesome. He goes, would you rather drive there or whatever? I said, I'll go anywhere in the state to get a windshield. The only difference is I got nobody to put it in. I'll put it in most likely. I'll be learning that trade, but I also got to get a rubber seal around it. So if you guys know where to get a rubber seal, now, one guy did tell me a place called steelrubber.com is one of them. They classic car windshields and stuff like that type stuff. I'd have to call them to find out if they do something like this or not. But if you guys know of one website or something where I can get a windshield rubber, and I also need to get these felts in because these windows rattle. I want to do that as well. I got several things I want to do to this thing besides just use the living tar out of it. The exhaust pipe. It's straight. I'm not sure why they would do that. It's straight with no rain guard. And it goes right down here and right down here and right down there. Obviously it goes way below the engine. It'd take a lot of rain to fill it up, but it could. It could. If sat long enough outside in the monsoon type conditions. And the other nasty thing about it, because I brought it here and it rained in it, and I fired it up for somebody, and this black sooty water got all over everything. Anywho, tread depth on the tires are great. They're like new, which is awesome. And they're not too old. I do have one air leak, and that's something I'll do in another video. The left rear brake line has an air leak. Not enough, you can hear it hissing, not enough to impact the brakes, because I'm still holding 90 to 120 pounds on the dash for my air pressure, which is what I need. But it's still, like the other day when I was backing it in here and I had to jockey back and forth and hit the brakes a lot, I lost air to where I had to let it stop and let it build pressure back up, because that leaks a little. It shouldn't be leaking there, which is not helping the situation at all. Let me pull this back down. The air cleaner in it's like brand new. Transmission fluid looks pretty good, but there again, let's talk about the transmission. Transmission is a Allison transmission. Allison 4-speed, I believe, automatic, which coupled with the DT466 should be virtually indestructible. Now, another guy at work told me that he follows a lot of tractor pullers, and I guess the diesel, 6-cylinder diesel tractor pulling tractors like to use these DT466s for building their pulling tractors, because they're just so overbuilt and so heavy duty, and it can take the abuse up to a certain amount of horsepower. So the other nice thing is there again, kind of like Big Mo, not too much power to break itself, right? If it can't do it, then it won't break itself trying to do it. So 368,000 miles is what it has on it. And you saw how it starts up and runs. And I drove it home, it runs fine. These diesels can run a long time. The mileage would be a concern for some people, but I got her right, and it runs right, and it drove home right. I'm not too worried about it. For the amount of hours that I'll put on it, will be pretty minimal. And the mileage, not a lot. But the other nice thing about this thing, if I find me a trailer that weighs, let's just say 5,000 pounds or under, I can actually put Big Mo on. Now I got a dynamic duo here, right? I can actually take and put this backhoe on a trailer, pull it to a job site, do some excavating, do some hauling, do some everything else, and then pull it back home. That's the, let's just say, the game plan. It's a hobby at this point, but it's a game plan, right? But what else? There's, oh, name. We look at these. These aren't West Coast. These are signal stat mirrors, but they work just fine. Name of the. Well, I didn't drink anything yet today. Of the truck. Now, my son had come up with Big Joe. Got Big Mo, Big Joe. Together, I got my Mojo. That's one option. I really like Blue Thunder. I can't go Big Blue because I already have a boat called Big Blue. And so you guys are thinking, you're an idiot. Why are you trying to just name everything? Well, just when I'm having conversations with people or talking to you guys, today we're going to be out in Big Blue Thunder or Big Mo or Big Blue or the Banana or whatever other name we give our little, let's just call all these pieces of equipment and boats and stuff in the videos are characters in my play, so to speak, in my life. And so yeah, Blue Thunder, Big Joe, I don't know, Short Stack, Blue Dumpy, I don't know. I'm going to listen to you guys a little bit. Leave your comments down below. Give me a name down below. And I would appreciate it. So what else is there to tell you about this thing? Needs a little maintenance. So, oh, I want to ask you guys a question on this too, because I'm going to do some research and then compare that to what you guys give me for answers on the comments. Transmission. Pull the dipstick. She's nice and pink and clean. I really would like to change. I'm going to change the engine oil, obviously. Takes gallons of oil. I've got several filters. I want to change all the filters. I want to change the transmission fluid. I want to change the rear end fluid. I want to change the engine oil. I want to get everything, just like I've done here with Big Mo, everything serviced so I know when the last time it was serviced. That's important to me. And then I got peace of mind. When my stuff breaks, I want it to be a surprise. I don't want it to be because of neglect. Because it's like, I should have done that. That probably wouldn't have happened. I don't like that. That conversation I never want to happen. So now what I really like about this truck too, and maybe all trucks have this, heavy duty equipment has it, you know, grease zerks everywhere so I can grease everything. I did power wash the underbelly of this off to get all the old oil and everything, years and years of just stuff, you know, oozing and dirt sticking to it. Did that on the front end, the rear end, brake shoes. I'm going to have to do brakes on this thing too. When I say brakes, the brakes work fine. The pads are starting to delaminate on the driver's side. So I'll probably end up doing, the drums feel actually really good. The pads are really old. So they were on a school bus. If this is off a school bus, who knows how old the school bus was and all that fun stuff. So new pads are going on here. So that'll be a job or a video in the future. All the maintenance on this is going to be videos. The other thing I'll be using this for is hauling dirt. I've got a ton of dirt, pun intended, tons and tons of dirt that I'm going to be excavating, hauling, piling, and reshaping this part of my backyard. My goal, just so I share this with you, my goal is from here to the back of my shop up there to be pretty much flat. Flat's a relative term. I want it to be flat with a slight grade coming this way, going all the way up to there, and a grade slightly tilted to the right. Like just say, you know, 1 foot per, I don't know how many feet, a lot of feet. So that you can't, so it looks flat basically, but the water can all head toward my pond to help keep my pond full of water type of situation. That's the other thing we're doing. I haven't started the series yet. Is the ultimate goal is to rebuild my pond. The idea behind the backhoe I bought was to rebuild the pond. This is going to come in handy for hauling dirt from the pond to other places versus bucket load at a time. I can put bucket loads in here and then go dump once and keep digging type thing. Somebody else can be driving while I'm digging type stuff. My wife can drive this in the yard all day long, no problem. Will she do it? We'll see. but I think she will. But that'll help expedite some things for sure. We've got, then I want to be able to haul in riprap, sand, pebbles, different stuff like that, and to recreate and rebuild my pond to turn it into an actual, something that I can use, have fish in it, swimming in it, relaxing on a dock in it, stuff like that. Big dreams, right? Well, keeps me active, keeps me doing things, and I can't think of a better way to spend my time than being creative, using equipment, and investing in myself and my own backyard. Yep. Is there anything else? Probably not. Still drizzling a little bit out here. Still slowed down a little bit. But just look at that thing. Isn't that menacing? Now, for some reason, I don't know if the cab is sitting crooked or if the bumper's crooked. We'll have to explore that to see if something needs adjusting there. But all the lights work all the way around. None of the dash lights work because I was moving around the other night and I couldn't see the air pressure. I couldn't see anything on the dash. But that's okay. Golly, we got so much rain out here. It's just puddles, and I gotta stay in the grass to keep from falling on my butt. I was wondering how much. That's just soaking right in. I thought that clay would let it hold some water for a little bit longer than it does. Stay tuned, folks. We got a lot of projects. You see this behind me here? That's my old pond. Had fish in it for a couple years. Had a fish kill, and it's just the conditions aren't right to have fish. Raised some pretty good sized crappie before they had the fish kill. We had an early freeze. It wasn't aerated enough, not enough fresh water, and but we're gonna rebuild it with everything you see in the shed there, other than the boat. Yeah, I might put the boat in the water. Be a small ride, short ride. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. Don't forget to help me name the Big Blue International. Right now, it's the International Truck of Mystery. Doesn't have a name. And I want to give it a name. Whatever we decide on, that's what will be its name the rest of the time I own it. Folks, get out there, have some fun, enjoy life. This is Michael saying, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. And if you break it while you're fixing it, fix it again. I'll see you on the next video. I'm out of here. You guys have a good time. Treat each other kind. And I'll see you on the next video if I'm lucky. Have a good one. I'm out. So much cleaning up to do. Huh. All right. On to the next adventure. Never boring around here.